That's odd, I thought to myself as I entered the house. My house. Well, our house, really. Everything was sort of eerily quiet. I had the feeling things hadn't been moved around in a while. On top of that, the pile of posts that I just had to practically leap over was slightly unusual, to say the least, and kind of confirmed my thoughts that Mum hadn't been in for a few weeks. I moved around cautiously. For what reason, I wasn't too sure. This was my home, and I should feel comfortable in it. Yeah, I didn't. And I found myself creeping around each corner and hastily opening each door, expecting the worst on the other side. I always was one to be pessimistic. Nothing. Apart from everything being slightly dated, not by years, just a few weeks, I couldn't spot anything else out of line, as it were. Feeling rather defeated and a little perplexed, to be exact, I made my way to the kitchen. "Cup of tea," I said aloud, hoping the sound of my own voice would make things feel a little less weird. I slouched over the marble surface, waiting for the kettle to boil, as I'd already prepared my cup with a tea bag in it. Tofu in hand, I sat at our old wooden table we had in the centre of the room, sipping every now and then as I ran all the possibilities, some rather more sensible than others. Did I say I was pessimistic? Over in my mind. It just didn't make sense. Maybe Mum and Rick had finally stopped messing around and realised the feeling they had for each other was mutual and moved in together. But then why hasn't she taken half of her stuff with her? And she could at least got on the post diverted to their pad. Maybe she's been sent off somewhere again. Cheers for the non-existent note, Mother. Ugh, I'm so slow at times, I thought to myself as I spotted the home phone just by the cooker. Mum very rarely leaves it off the hook. She's always battering on about how it loses battery when she's in the middle of an important phone call. I smiled briefly to myself. Stupidly enough, I did actually miss that. Never mind. I'm sure I'll get enough of it later to make up for the time I've been away. Oh yeah, and probably a bit more. I got up and walked over to the phone. Surprisingly, it still had some battery left. I raised an eyebrow as I read the amount of answer phone messages she had. 34? Bloody hell. When I have nothing left to do but paint dry, I may just listen to them all. I tapped in her mobile number, which I knew off by heart, and waited patiently for her to pick up. The ringing tone didn't even sound. I just got this automated voice saying, "The number you have dialed has not been recognised. Please try again." I took the phone from my ear and looked at the display screen in a rather confused state. Fair enough. Maybe I don't know the number off by heart. So I typed it in again. Slower? Slowly this time. Oh, for God's sake, I grumbled to myself. I got the same response I had the first time. Figuring this was getting me nowhere, I decided to ring Hobby General. Again, I knew the number off by heart. It does actually come in handy sometimes, believe me. "Hobby City General, how can I help you?" came an unfamiliar voice from the other end. Gone 2 months and they've already kicked Alice off reception. That's a bit off, isn't it? "Hello," came the voice again. Yeah, sorry. Is Miss Lloyd there?" I questioned. "Who?" the receptionist asked. "Diane Lloyd," I repeated louder. "Surgical registrar." "Sorry, I think you've got the wrong hospital. Maybe you should try St. James's." Before I could even respond, the line cut out. Rude and clueless. Who the bloody hell is employing these receptionists?